Welcome back to another YouTube video. Going to talk about AEW and Impact. AEW started with Matt Hardy versus Orange Cassidy. Match was good. Orange Cassidy wins, beats Matt Hardy. And you think, hey, maybe that's the end of the Best Friends versus Hardy Family Office. Well, no, because Jack Evans is also going to fight Orange Cassidy. I think it's happening like next week. Jericho, the Justice Future in AEW, basically comes out. He wants to fight MJF again. If he loses this time, he'll retire from in-ring competition, at least in AEW. So essentially, that means if he loses this match, he won't wrestle anymore in AEW. But let's say he wanted to go back to Japan, he could wrestle there. Let's say he wanted to go to Impact, he could wrestle there. He's not losing. Jericho's going to win. Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes. Lucha Bros win. And then we're getting Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express on Friday. Well, today, because today's Friday. So yeah, later today, Lucha Bros versus Jurassic Express. Winner of that goes to All Out to fight the Young Bucks in a steel cage match. Red Velvet versus Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter wins. Red Velvet botched the moonsault. Basically, the two biggest things to come out of this match. CM Punk, Dynamite debut. Basically comes out and says the same stuff that he said on Rampage. Like, almost literally the exact same stuff, except no real WWE shot, just more, hey, Darby, I'm going to fight you at All Out to prove to myself that I still got it. And he said he's retiring the nickname Voice of the Voiceless because the AEW fans have a voice. In WWE, we didn't, obviously. So that's why they gave him that. Mox, Darby, and Kingston versus JD Drake, Cesar Bononi, and Ryan Nemeth. The faces win. Enough said. The match was what it was. It was decent. And then um, who came out to attack Darby? Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia came out to attack Darby. Darby and Daniel Garcia in 2.0, they all kind of have this one-sided feud with Mox, Kingston, and Darby Allin. So, yeah, it's just going to lead to Darby beating Daniel Garcia again before he fights CM Punk. Omega and uh, Christian cut promos on each other. Christian shows some footage why he doesn't trust Don Callis. And he says it's funny because Kenny Omega, a 10-year-old Kenny Omega, listened to Don Callis, and now, 20 plus years later, he's still listening to Don Callis. And then they fight, and then Frankie Kazarian hits the ring to make the save. Gun Club versus the Factory. The Gun Club win. QT Marshall gets distracted in the most usual wrestling way ever. Somebody's yelling at you, so you turn to look at them, and then you get rolled up. Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson. Malachi Black wins. And then he goes to Black Mask Art Anderson. Sorry. Art Anderson blocks it, and then Malachi Black low blows him and hits him with a black mass. And then Lee Johnson comes out, and then Malachi Black rolls out of the ring. So, pretty obvious that Malachi Black is just going to wrestle multiple people in the Nightmare Family. He beat Cody already. He beat Brock Anderson. Next, he's gonna beat Lee Johnson. And then what? If next week is the go home, does Cody come back on the go home show and then they fight again at All Out? Anyway, we'll see what happens. Impact. Chris Sabin versus Sami Callihan. Sabin wins. Match was great. Chris Sabin looks like he's getting a push, I guess. Hey, Chris Sabin versus Christian. That wouldn't be a bad match. Chris Bay versus David Finlay. Chris Bay beat David Finlay because he put his foot on the ropes. Oh, yeah, some backstage segments and some other stuff. We had Mickie James come out, hype up Empowered. She's saying that Gail Kim, Medusa, and Jazz are going to put on one of the greatest women's wrestling shows ever. Deonna Purrazzo comes out, says, hey, Mickie, you left out in that video package where I beat Melina. And then she's like, well, you didn't beat Melina. He did. Obviously talking about Aiden English, a.k.a. the Drama King, a.k.a. Matthew Ringwald, or Rewalt, not Ringwald, whatever. And then they fight a little bit, and then Melina comes out to make the save. Trey Miguel also comes out to make the save because, they can't beat up Aiden English as believably, at least as believably as Trey Miguel can. So. Then we get that match that I just talked about, and then Christian comes out, cuts promo, talking about how he's ready to take on all comers. Ace Austin comes out. Tommy Dreamer actually comes out first. Tommy Dreamer's like, hey, congrats on being the champ. I'd love to have another match with you one day. Ace Austin comes out. Madman Fulton's out there too. They fight Dreamer and Christian. Ace Austin goes to the back, talks to Scott D'Amore, gets a match made for next week. If Dreamer beats Ace Austin, Dreamer gets added to the title match. Taylor Wilde versus The Influence, which is Tennille Dashwood, Madison Rayne, and Caleb with a K. The Influence win. It was a 3-on-1. If the heels lost a 3-on-1, that would make them look really stupid. Obviously, they win. Rachel Owens and Jordan Grace come out to make the save, and then next week we get a 3-on-3, which is The Influence, Tennille, Madison, Caleb with a K, versus Taylor Wilde, Jordan Grace, Rachel Owens. Brandy Lauren basically gets dragged into hell, essentially. So Su Yung and Kimberly come out, or they're backstage, so they don't come out to the ring, but they're backstage. They pop up. They drag Brandy Lauren to hell, and either she's going to be an undead bridesmaid or she's going to be gone from TV. Who knows? 2JP fought Steve Macklin on the kickoff show. That match ended in DQ because Petey Williams came out to attack Steve Macklin. He saved TJP. TJP's obviously mad at him. TJP's like, hey, man, I didn't need you to save me. And he's all, how about you go your way, I'll go my way, and we don't cross paths again. Better than WWE's logic of they're baby faces, so let's have them be friends. Cardona and Chelsea Green are going to fight Raju and Shira in a 2-on-2 tag match. Multi-person tag match, yeah? Basically. Falaba says he wants to make it up to Tasha Steelz after losing at Emergence. Falaba says him and Noe Jose will take care of the decay. And then Tasha and Rachel, I think her name is. I forget what her name is. I don't know if her name is Rachel. Her name's not Rachel. Is it? Could be. Tasha and her friend are going to fight Havoc and Rosemary. There you go. Good Brothers versus Willie Mack and Rich Swann. Willie Mack and Rich Swann win. Rich Swann wins with a roll-up. And then the Good Brothers proceed to beat the piss out of Rich Swann and Willie Mack. All right. So that's everything. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later.